Good afternoon, everybody. I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous because I think it's bad manners. I think it's bad manners to come somewhere to thank people and at the same time get something from people. I didn't know you were having a collection, Dal. You owe me one. I owe you one. It's not right. I'm here to say thank you and update you. Anyway, I think another reason I'm nervous is it wasn't long ago I was given a mission talk in a parish in Detroit, and I was late for the mass, like I usually am. I snuck in the back. It was a big parish. It was crowded, and the lector was up there talking to us. This is our. I sat down next to this old fellow who was looking at his watch, tapping his wrist. He looked kind of grumpy, and they started mass, and they said, "Folks, this is our annual missionary co-op weekend. We have a missionary here from Haiti. He's going to speak after a little short homily, and this parish it's a once-a-year chance to help out the missions around the world." And as he's saying that, the guy next to me goes like this. You got to be kidding me. And the guy goes, "We're going to take a second collection up for his work after the first one. Please help as much as you can." And the priest was saying this. He said, "I worked in the missions in Peru, and it's near and dear to my heart. So if you can't give to both collections, give it to the mission collection." The guy next to me goes like this. He elbows me in the ribs, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, did you hear that? There's a stupid missionary here this weekend." I said, I heard about that. He goes, "Are those guys the worst or what?" I go, "They're pretty bad. He goes, "I can't stand them. Coming in here, blah, blah, blah. The mass is going to be longer. They rarely speak in English. You can't understand half of them. And they're always taking collections up all over the place." He goes, "That's it. I'm not even going to mass here. I'm leaving. I'm going to go to 6 o'clock mass down at St. John's." So he gets up to leave. And I grab him by this thing, and I said, "Hey, buddy, why don't you stick it out? The mass is almost over. Before you know it, it'll be over." "Are you kidding me? I'm not staying if you give me $100. He goes, "I'm getting out of here." I go, "You don't know. The guy may be okay. Hey, have you met one of these guys? They're all bad, okay?" And I said, "Look, he may even speak English good and everything." So he stops for me and he goes, "I'll stay if you stay." I said, all right. Now, I don't even know what to make. So they call me up to give the mission talk, right? And the guy's looking like this. Where is it? I tap on his shoulder. "Hey, pal, do me a favor. I got to go up there now and give that stupid mission talk, you know what I mean?" Son of a bitch. I give the worst mission talk I've ever given. Because the guy stood up in the back of church like this. So I give this real fast talk. I messed up everything. I'm walking back to the back of the church and to sit down, and he's standing there. And I come up to him and I go, "I spoke pretty good English though, didn't I? Huh? How was that?" He goes, "Worst mission talk I've ever heard," and he walked out the door. So I'm a little traumatized from that, you know. Haiti's not a good place right now. Father Tom and I work as probably many of you know, we work in a slum called City Soleil in Port-au-Prince. And in the last 2 years, it's been entrenched in violence at a level we've never seen before. The United Nations did a study of third world cities around the world, and they concluded that in the report, they said that it's the most violent place on earth. And so in this environment, we run a school system for about 7,000 children. And one of our campuses is called St. Veronica's because it's named after St. Veronica Parish. You were one of about 6 parishes who have reached out and kind of embraced us and adopted us and kind of help us every year. And it's hard to know how to. It's an extraordinary thing to be the recipient of all sorts of gifts and all from people you don't even know, and from people who are giving to you that get nothing out of it. And so I often get myself tongue-tied when I try to thank people like you yourselves for what you've been doing for us. I thought I'd just real fast, it's the format of my talk, or whatever you want to call it. I'll tell you what it's like right now, what we're doing, and what we hope to do, I guess. It's just what it's like. It's impossible to exaggerate how difficult it is. The kids who come into our schools are hungry all the time. They never get enough to eat. There's no ability to travel with vehicles anywhere because the roads are blocked up with these large barriers where guys with rifles and machine guns are behind them. We're the only school system that's open. And so there was a time years ago when I worked there were rules to fighting. You didn't shoot at each other during the day because the school was in session. They really had rules. And it seems like they're not even listening to those rules anymore. So we've had, I don't know, a dozen children shot walking home from school. So what we would do is Father Tom and I would walk with them down the main streets. As you're walking with them, you'd see a sniper on that side, and the enemy sniper on that side. And Tom would stop and he'd go, "Put your guns down, put your guns down." And they would. Now that doesn't make us very popular with the bourgeoisie who are afraid of the people in the slums. They think, geez, this priest can control all these people. Anyway, you don't know what it's like. If you're a kid, say you're a child, and all through the night there's this terrific gunfire, ear-piercing, earth-shattering guns and bullets going through your house. These kids are traumatized. They're catatonic. There's a place at one of our school campuses called Fort Dimanche. And there you'll see all these women there in the back of it with these plastic buckets, and they scoop the mud from this area there, which is supposed to have some iron in it, and they mix it with sugar and salt, and they make little tiny patties out of it, like pancakes. And they put them on the concrete, and they let them bake in the sun to dry out, and they give that to their kids during the weekends when they're not in school and they're not being fed. They eat those mud pancakes. And then there's a long line of mothers with their children at the clinic because of the parasites in the water where the mud pancakes are. There's cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis, AIDS, dysentery. If you're a mother, it's impossible to keep your child healthy. You can't do it. No matter what you do, the kid's going to get sick. So the mothers are all strung out and stressed out beyond belief. And there's a tension like a cord being pulled to us. And somehow we've kept a certain amount of neutrality amongst these these different gang leaders with three, they're kind of one group on one side and one group on the other side fighting each other. It's scary. Really, really scary. Really, really scary. I had to go down and talk to one of the gang leaders not long ago. He was really pissed off at me. He was mad at me. He was mad at me because there was a big battle like the day before, and there were people that are injured. Again, the group that was against this gang leader, they were injured by his soldiers. And I knew both groups. And I said, we'll get some doctors and help treat the wounded. And so we go down, there's like 7 guys badly wounded with gunshot wounds. Legs are all, they're infected. So we broke into the hospital that was closed down. We started up the generator. We got some doctors in there, and we saved these guys. But these guys were this gang leader's enemy. So I go down the next day, and I'm sitting in a chair, and he's standing there, and he's got a half-gallon of vodka in one hand and a gun in the other, and he's screaming at me. He's frothing at the mouth, that I'm helping people that are, they shot at them first, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting there going, I'm not getting out of here. And he's yelling at me for this and that, I'm trying to keep it cool. And I think he's done talking, and I get up to leave. So I get up to leave, and he whirls on me. I didn't say you could go. Sit back there. He shoved me back in the chair, and he hit me in the head. And he's like, if you try to go from this, or you ask anybody here, I'll burn you to death in that car, and then I'll shoot you to death. So I said to him, do me a favor. Shoot me before you burn me, all right? He's looking at me. And so I think, this is it, I'm not even going to say goodbye to my kids. I won't even have time. All I need is a minute or two to say what I need to say. And so all of a sudden, Father Tom's standing there, and his hand's shaking. See this? My brother. See this? Sorry about that, Father Dell. And Father Tom looks at him and he says, Iska, the guy's name's Iska, I love you. Put the gun down. This guy, Iska, I hadn't heard that very often. I love you, you know? And we've known this guy a long time. We've done a lot of good work in this place, but he's a psychopath. And he put the gun down. And I walked out of there somehow. So I tell you that story to give you an idea of what it's like. What it's like. They poisoned me. My kidneys almost failed. I was lucky to get out of there and get them with the voodoo stuff. So needless to say, it's not an easy place to work, okay? It's not a place you choose to work if you had a choice. And I really don't have a choice anymore. I don't have a choice because they have nobody else. These are the forgotten ones. These are the ones that Jesus was talking about. These are the poor. So what we're doing, and we're doing it because of you and a few other parishes and some people that are good to us. We have a school that's open every day, except for weekends. No other schools are open. It's not run perfectly. We have a hard time getting staffed. Very few people want to work in there. So what we do is we usually take the students that graduate from our school and make them the staff. So we farm our own products. But you know what it is? It's a place where the kids can go and know that they're loved. They're loved. They can do it. They can learn how to speak English. They have a hot meal every day, and somebody cares about them. And they don't sit there in that hut, curled up in the corner with gunfire going off all the time. So that's probably what we're most proud of. Because of your help, we've drilled over 400 or 500 water wells. The leading cause of death in Haiti is poor water. Years ago, when Father Denny was here, he helped us get this water well drilled. St. Veronica helped us get one. That means almost 900,000 people get fresh water every day because of stuff we did together. We have a farm. Well, we had a farm. We'll hope we get it back. We had a farm that was making enough produce that it would supplement our meals, and it allowed us to give good, healthy food at the schools. Now, a bunch of gangs in there took it over for a while, but I think we're getting it back. I got to go up there and talk to them a little bit. It's just, we're just being good Catholics, okay? I love being Catholic. I'm a convert. I became Catholic when I was like 23 or 24. And I'm not great at it, all right? I'm trying. I make a lot of mistakes and everything, but it's a wonderful way of life, being Catholic. It is. We believe in life. We believe in helping the poor. If someone comes to our house for dinner and put another plate on the table, we'll share them, We believe that whatever gifts and graces and talents have been given to us are not meant for us. Ultimately, they're meant for everybody else. And that's why we need each other so much. Think of all the gifts and talents you have, and you have nobody else to use them on. So no, we need each other in this life, and that's the Eucharist. We're all members of one body. We're all members of one another. So I ask you to think about that, and each one of us has a mission. It's all members of one body, but everyone has a specific mission. I can never do what you're supposed to do, and vice versa. But we need each other. So think about the mission you've been given, please. And I'm not asking you for anything else than just to thank you and tell you what's going on. We're doing good work together, and we're going to keep at it. So that's enough out of me, I think. And thanks a lot for listening to me.